Hey guys, Mr. Masner coming at you from my home office. When I'm Zooming with you guys, this is the place I'm normally sitting, even though I may have a San Francisco or a COVID-19 background. But what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of things around the house that are great examples of attempts to kind of recapture heat loss or to reduce the amount of thermal energy that is being lost, because ultimately this is what your project is going to be about this week. I'm going to go up to my door here and you'll see I've got this kind of old school door, which I like. It's in green. And one of the problems with this old school door is that it was made at a time before double pane windows. So we're coming into heavy use. So if you look at it, this glass here, and you can actually peer into my living room here, this glass here is one single pane. The problem is even though glass is a good insulator, what winds up happening is you get a fair amount of heat loss through something like this. So for those of you guys that have old school doors like I do, maybe you have something called a storm door. And basically what this storm door does is exactly the same thing that the coat I was wearing or the double layer of my little Hello Kitty insulated thermos or the hydro flask. Essentially, if you look at it, it's an extra layer of glass, and you'll see there's a space here about that wide, you can see for scale. And what it does is it traps the air. And what it does is it helps to reduce the amount of energy that's lost. If you look in these walls here, behind the walls, you're going to see layers of insulation, which I'll show you in a minute, which are basically there to accomplish the same thing. They trap the warm air and reduce the amount of heat loss from the home. Now, I don't know if you can see this through the screen, but my window is actually a little bit more modern. I have double pane glass in that window, and double pane glass is kind of cool. Usually what it is it's full of, it's two layers of glass. They blow in either krypton or argon gas, pretty inert gases that do a really good job of kind of holding onto that heat. And in some of the better windows, they actually have a really thin layer of some type of metal oxide, basically a metal. And the idea behind this is I don't know if you guys have ever seen on after a marathon or in an emergency situation. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those crinkly, metallic-y plastic blankets that they throw on top of people. The idea is that just like when you put aluminum foil on food when you cook with it, the crinkly crinkly blanket that they use helps to reflect the heat back to you. And in this case, with these windows, they put in a really thin layer of metal, which in the winter time will basically bounce the heat back into the house. And in the summertime, what it does is it allows the light through, but it bounces back that direct sunlight and it keeps the home from getting too warm. So this double paned low E glass is really kind of a cool thing.